Hello, it's Kat, and today I have this look for you. I'm gonna call it my serpentine eye look. It just made me think of snakes. So we're just gonna jump right in. This is a full face voiceover, so we're in for the long haul today. Just kidding, it's not that long. But I was trying out these Model's Own full face foundation sticks, and they actually have a white one, so I used that as my eye base. But you can see once it blends out, it's a little sheer, so I did use 2 layers of that. And this is my second time using these foundation sticks. I actually filmed this look twice. The first time I did it, I was almost done editing it, and it just, for some reason, the file got corrupted, so I had to, or I didn't have to refilm it, but I thought might as well refilm it. But anyway, I'm using this Makeup Revolution Reloaded palette in the shade Vitality, and you can see I'm reaching for this kind of mustardy shade as a transition, but you could use any couple of matte shades to do these next couple steps. This part is just mapping out the look. I do this basically every time I do my makeup, every time I do an eye look. It's just kind of the way I do my makeup. I map out my shape, and then I add the interesting bits. But you can see this look is pretty graphic, pretty smoky. So I'm going in with a darker brown, using a few different brushes, layering up that outer corner that's a very pronounced V, kind of flat on top through the crease, and then a wing. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to follow along at home, anyone. And I'm using the e.l.f. cream black eyeliner as a base. And the first time I did the look, I did not blend my cream base properly. So this is a vital part. If you want to use a cream base like this for your eyeshadow, make sure you blend it first, or it'll make blending a little more difficult for you in the end. So this is the star of the show right here. The Magic Palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm using the shade called Aja. And the best way to apply these shimmers are with your fingers. So I started out, you can see I got a really nice base layer of that beautiful dark green on my lids. Then just to reach every single crevice and to perfect my shape, I took a flat brush. Any synthetic flat brush will do. And then I dipped in that shade again with my little crease brush and did the bulk of my blending just right here. And then just a few finishing touches, dipping back into that mustardy shade and that brown shade just to make sure everything's blended. I just deepened up my outer V just a little bit, and then just to pop it, just to kind of tie everything together, I took the shade called Yara on my finger and just patted that in the middle of the lid, and this gives it more dimension because it looked kind of just like a dark green garage door on my eyelid. So this is just adding back in the curves, the highlights. And you can see I just put a couple layers of that on with my finger and then just blend it over the edges. And then this is a blending tip that I'm sure most people know, but just in case you don't, if you have a harsh edge, take a color that's your skin tone or lighter and just blend over the edges with that. And then you can see I did my eyes first, so I took a makeup wipe, cleaned up the mess, and then went in with pretty close to my skin tone shade of foundation stick. I still don't know how I feel about these. Second time using them, you can see I'm blending it out with my AOA Wonder Blender, and I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on this. The first time I used it, it looked really bad, but they don't have enough coverage to be like a under eye concealer or anything, so I used a little bit of Maybelline concealer and then went in with the white to reinforce some highlights in my face. You can see I'm blending. I never know how much to put of my blending, but hopefully you understand how much blending is happening. And then I also got a darker shade for me of the Model's Own foundation stick and kind of tried to use that to contour. And this shade provided me with a lot of contrast, a lot of warmth. So what I decided to do was just kind of run with it. And, you know, every part of this look is dramatic. The skin is dramatic. The eyes are dramatic. The lips will be dramatic. So you can see I went in with my highlights and my contours. punched up my highlights with the white, and I set everything with a powder, and then I used a really, really warm contour. This one is from Wet n Wild, and just thought I would go with the theme of really warm skin. And then, let's see, what am I doing now? My lower lash line. I took kind of like, it kind of feels like a fat brush, a pencil brush, but it's fat, that's what I'm trying to say, and ran some of my mattes along the lower lash line, and then I picked up that shade Aja again, the main green, and put some of that on my lower lash line, and made it smoky, and made sure it's all one big graphic shape, connecting everything around my whole eye. And I added a little bit of black liner, and here's a little comparison. No liner. And then I used this Essence little eye and face palette for my highlight. I put this on my face too. I don't know where that footage is, but that's my inner corner highlight and my face highlight. And then I lined my lips with kind of a deep plummy red lip liner, and then I'm using the Colourpop Le Freak Lippie, whatever. And oh, I did my brows off camera. Sorry for not mentioning that earlier. And then I'm also putting on some lashes off camera. And then I felt like I needed a little tiny bit more on the eyes, so I took that shade Yara again and just put that kind of on the inner half of my lower lid. And then this is just an old gloss that I have, and I thought that I would add a gloss. The first time I did the look, I didn't wear a gloss, but that is the finished look. So that's everything. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.